You couldn't be Joyboy either, it seems. What does Kaido mean by either? Who does he mean by either? Who else did Kaido think was Joyboy? What's up guys, Wizard of Oars here, and today I'll be discussing my theory on why Kaido actually went to Marineford, but then decided to turn around after an encounter with Shanks. If you're new to the channel and want weekly content on One Piece, then remember to like and subscribe and even hit the bell icon. Thanks for everything, and now let's get into it. First, I'd like to talk about the Beast Pirates Captain and Emperor, also known as the strongest creature, Kaido. I believe Kaido knows about the prophecies that will take place because he knows about Joyboy. I think we underestimate the fact that Kaido actually knows about the man who is called Joyboy. Not even just heard about him, but to actually know what he represents and his impact on the world. Kaido casually asks King why he thinks he's Joyboy. Notice how King says, "Legends are legends, that is all." I find this conversation so intriguing because it shows that both Kaido and King don't only know about the Joyboy from the past, but also about the one that is prophesied for the future. Kaido clearly understands that Joyboy will return and his arrival is soon. I find it fascinating that both Kaido and King both understand this because they seem to know more than we the readers. They even seem to know more on the subject than Nico Robin, a lifetime archaeologist who is considered a genius. Until Fishman Island, Robin never even heard of or thought of the existence of this legendary figure. It seems like the world government truly did erase him from history, and the only way to learn about him could be from either the poneglyphs or stories. There's most likely not a single history book that brings him up. While this video doesn't explain how Kaido learned about Joyboy, it focuses on the idea that he knows about his importance to the world and the revolution that he will uprise. This conversation also seems to imply that Kaido doesn't believe he himself is Joyboy, but it's instead someone else. So when he said, "You couldn't be Joyboy either," it seems, I don't get the impression that he was talking about himself. In Oden's flashback, we continuously see him bring up how Joyboy will appear in Wano in about 20 years. While on Roger's ship within Wano's borders, he tells how Wano's borders must be opened to await the day that Joyboy appears. A few years in the future, while boiling, Oden announces how after an 800-year span, a figure will appear that will cooperate with Wano country. Kaido is watching and listening to this, so he must know he's talking about Joyboy. Later on, we also see how Oden wrote in his journal, over 20 years in the future, powerful pirates leading the next generation will come swarming into the new world. If I am dead by then, they will be the ones to strike down Kaido. The year he wrote this is uncertain, but it was before he knew he was going to get boiled, so it could have been anywhere from 25 to 20 years ago. 25 years ago, the Roger pirates knew that within a little over 20 years from then, there would be a huge world war when Joyboy appears, and Wano will be opened and saved by this prophecy. This is the same war that Kaido wants to take place. I believe Kaido already knows many of the prophecies. He already knows about Joyboy and the final war, so I also believe he knows that they are currently living in the era where everything will take place. One way he can know that within the last 5 years the era of Joyboy began is because Yamato could have continuously told him. She could have told him how someone is prophesied to save Wano after 20 years after the Roger Pirates found the One Piece. During their fight, we see Yamato casually tell Kaido that Luffy is the man that Oden was waiting for. Kaido doesn't ask what she means, so I'd assume he already knows what she's talking about. The way Yamato always yells out that she's Oden, she probably yells out other things to Kaido, like how someone will come to defeat him after 20 years. She may have even told Kaido that there's another person other than Luffy who will take his head. So now that we know all the prophecies that Oden made, you may ask, what does this have to do with Kaido and Marineford? This has to do with why Kaido went to Marineford because he thought Ace was Joyboy. Knowing the prophecies, everything fits. The Paramount War happened 23 years after Roger found the One Piece, so it fits the timeline of the final war starting after a 20-year span. Knowing everything that Kaido knows, he may have believed that the Paramount War was the beginning to the final world war that will take place. He probably believed it would be a return of the Rock's pirates and that Joyboy will be the centerpiece of everything. Little did he know that there was another legend coming into place with the name of Monkey D. Luffy. He may have started believing that Ace was Joyboy after he told Yamato that he's gonna be the one to take Kaido's head, which shows she probably believed that he was Joyboy. Only after his death, she remembered that he told her the words that Luffy spoke, which were those of the Pirate King. Kaido may have found it interesting that Yamato believes Ace is what everyone is waiting for, and once the war at Marineford was set up, he officially believed that the world revolves around Ace. Everything does line up with him, since he had the will of D, is Roger's son, wanted to save Wano, started a war against the world government, became a pirate after the 20-year span, and was the frontrunner of the new era. If you like my theory on why Joyboy was Oars the First, also remember that Ace is also best friends with Oars Jr. and even has an Oni on his hat. Kaido knows some of the truth, so he may even look into the smallest details like that. Kaido started heading down to Marineford with King to help save Ace and to help Whitebeard defeat the world government. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and everything that Kaido wants in life could have happened at Marineford. He wants to take place in the greatest war the world has ever seen, wants to have a crazy death, and wants Joyboy to return. Now I'm not sure if Kaido and Whitebeard have spoken since Ace joined his crew. I do believe Whitebeard also believed Ace was Joyboy. He already knows that Ace is Roger's son, so he may think that he's alive to carry on his will. I know Whitebeard believed Ace was Joyboy because he wanted Ace to be the next Pirate King. He didn't want it to be Marco, or Blackbeard, or even himself. He truly wanted and believed it would be Ace to carry on the legacy of Joyboy. I also know Whitebeard thought it was Ace because he never wants to risk Ace's life, even if it meant going against his own beliefs. In chapter 434, Whitebeard tells Shanks that it's his responsibility to teach Blackbeard a lesson by sending Ace out to him. Later on, in chapter 552, we find out that Whitebeard actually didn't want Ace to go against Blackbeard. He says he has a very bad feeling about it, and that could be because he doesn't want to risk Ace being defeated at all. Another time we see Whitebeard contradicting himself for Ace is in chapters 552 and 999. In chapter 552, Whitebeard once again brings up how he told Ace to teach Blackbeard a lesson, even though we know that isn't true. I believe he says that because he wants an excuse to have to save Ace. Let's just be honest, in the end, it is Ace's fault for being captured by the world government, but Whitebeard still won't allow him to be killed. He'll even go to war with the world government, which seems kind of out of place for his character. The reason this seems out of place is because in chapter 999, he tells Ace and his sons to not go to war with Kaido, even though he killed Odin. I don't understand why he wouldn't go to war for Odin, but would go to war for Ace. All this evidence points to the fact that Whitebeard believed Ace would carry on Roger's will and would become Joyboy. With him believing that, many of the world did as well. It's kind of ironic how the whole world believed he would be the next Pirate King except for Ace himself. At least all the people who knew of his true name thought he would be the man Roger was waiting for. Even Roger himself said his son would be the next Pirate King. This shows that Kaido wasn't the only one who thought Ace could be the king of the pirates. Many people with power believed in him and definitely had an eye on him. The main reason the world government couldn't end the lineage of Roger was because Whitebeard was cautiously protecting Ace. Now that we know why Kaido most likely went to Marineford and how many believed Ace was going to be the legendary Joyboy, the next question would be, how did Shanks stop Kaido? What did he do to convince him to turn around? We know that they didn't fight for real because when Shanks and his crew show up to Marineford, they are fully energized without any marks or bruises. Since it doesn't seem they fought each other, I'd speculate that Shanks convinced Kaido to return home only using words. Throughout all of One Piece, we continuously see him confront some of the most powerful figures in the world with only his words. Shanks even arranges a meeting with the Gorosei on his own terms. This shows the amount of respect Shanks has throughout the world and how civilized of a man he can be. Knowing this, I believe he and Kaido talked it out and somehow Shanks convinced him that Ace isn't Joyboy and that this isn't the beginning of the final war. It wouldn't surprise me if he told Kaido that he knows Luffy is Joyboy and not Ace. He possibly could have even told Kaido that Luffy is the one with Roger's straw hat, showing that he's carrying on his will. We know Shanks truly believes in Luffy and even gave him the straw hat. I'm not sure of the exact proof Shanks told Kaido to convince him, but somehow he got him to pack his bags and go home. Some possible things I think Shanks could have told Kaido was possibly that the Revolutionary Army wasn't heading to Marineford. If Shanks can arrange secret meetings with the Gorosei, then I think he can arrange a secret meeting with anyone. I get it, this is pure speculation, but I'm just trying to think of all the possibilities here. Anyways, I do believe Shanks convinced Kaido to turn back with some proof that Ace isn't Joyboy. This pretty much wraps up my theory on why I believe Kaido started heading to Marineford. If you like this theory, then remember to like, subscribe, and even turn on all notifications. Also, feel free to comment and even join my Discord. I'll leave the link in the description. Thanks a lot for watching, and please have a good day.